Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
So Vishal sir, we will start like at 10:05. Okay.
So we can start, right? I don't think we should wait. Okay. Let's just start. Okay. No problem.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So let me just share my screen. Okay. So can someone confirm that the screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for the confirmation. So today is our the day one. So first of all, welcome to all of you, and we are starting the F5 LTM batch. Okay. So this will be like your LTM batch. So where you will see how F5 is working, means F5 device, right? And what is the feature of the LTM, how we can configure it from the scratch. So everything we will discuss here. So in between whenever anyone have any question you can ask, so that we can cover everything, right? So I'm just starting. So first of all, we will start from the basic configuration. Basic configuration means whenever there is any requirement to deploy the F5, right? It may be your virtual F5, right? If you buy the physical box, right, then you will receive one physical box. Then you need to configure it on your data center and whatever wherever you need to configure it, right? So it may be your virtual, it may be your physical, but in our lab we will do everything on virtual, right? So we will see how we can deploy the F5 from scratch, how we can configure the management IP, what is the default management IP, what is the username, password, like everything. So that whenever you will go to the production environment and you need to deploy any box in your environment, you can easily deploy once you have the
Excuse
one
me,
instance.
sorry to interrupt. I mean, that session is it recorded or
Sorry, say again.
is
Oh,
the session is
oh
recorded?
my God. Sorry. Thanks for I think I have not started the recording. Let me double check. I'm just stop sharing my screen again, and yeah, recording is started. Again, I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so so what we will we will learn. Let me start from scratch again. Okay, so in this in this batch we are covering the F5 LTM. Okay, which is your local traffic manager. And on the LTM, we will start from scratch, so that we can deploy the virtual F5, or if you have the physical F5, you can also deploy the physical F5. right? So to deploy the any F5, we need to understand the basic things, right? So that we will all discuss. For example, what is the management IP, right? Means default management IP, right? And if you have the virtual, how you can configure? If you have the physical, how you can configure, right? So management configuration and with the CLI, GUI, right? If we have the physical boxes, right? So we have the LCD panel on the boxes. We can configure the IP from the LCD, right? So here we have the button and all. So we will see how the physical box looks like. So this is the something default IP, right? So 192.168.1.245 is the F5 default IP. What we have the question why we have 245 only, right? So everything we will discuss what is the default username and password, right? So for that everyone should need to register your account on the F5 portal. Okay, guys, if you are not talking, can you please mute yourself? Okay, so on F5 portal you need to register yourself, right, for the trial license, right? So F5 is giving the trial license for 30 days, but it will give you the 2 key so you can use till 60 days, right? For that, what you need to go do, okay, you need to go to the, let me just, so you need to go to, you need to log into F5 site, right? So may I know everyone have the their username as password on this side, or you need to create? If you don't have you need to go on this side, right? myf5.com, right? And you need to register yourself. Once you registered for example, let me log out. Because without license you can't do any lab, and also that's the reason we are covering this one. So once you have the your accounts and everything, so you need to click on the sign in. This thing you can register means do na, you can register yourself, or I need to guide how you can register. Okay, so if someone want to know that how we can register, so we need to click, we need to give these details your name, first name, last name, your email ID, right? So and country code, right? And here password. Then to you need to fill all details and you need to sign up, right? Once you have the email ID, and also you can put your email ID here, right? And you can put your password. It will if you set up the two-factor authentication, it will ask the code or your do authentication, or maybe Google Authenticator. So I just click the send code. Let me see if I receive the code on my email ID. So I received the code. It say 583229, right? Just click on the verify. Okay. So here you see the trial option, right? Once you click on the trial, okay. So here you see we have different option. So big IP, F5 big IP trial, okay. It's a big IP next. It's a NGINX, and so what I did I just registered myself before the class, so that we have the license. So once you will click on the start free license, free trial license, okay, it will take some time, and you will receive one email as well. Also you can see the on your portal that, for example, this is the key I have received. So if I will click here, don't take any snapshot and all. Okay, so just it's opening. It's taking time. Let me click again. So it's showing active, right? So active one we need to check. Okay. Anyway, I think like there may be some issue like uh, on the F5 side, but like you will receive like one email looks like that. Okay. So once you will receive the email, okay, here you have the key and all. Okay. So you can use each key on your F5 devices, right? So till the time anyone have any question on the registration part? Okay, good. So once you like registered yourself, once you have the key and all, okay, what you need to go do, we have the like the portal where you can access your lab, right? So maybe some people maybe received or maybe not received, right? So if not received, like you will receive very soon, right? So let me just log out and log in. Give me 1 second. I need to put my credential. Okay, and for example, this is the lab, right? So we can deploy the F5, right? We need to just click on the node, and we can like type that big IP F5 big IP LTM. Okay, it's a B means virtual addition. Okay, here we have like the image like 12 version as well as 16 version. So whatever version you want to like deploy, you can deploy, right? So like from initial purpose like or initial like phase we can like use the 12 version, and we can upgrade it to the 16, right? So let me just okay, so you want to like means configure the lab from scratch, or it's fine like that whatever lab we have right now? Anyone have any doubt
Better
on
we
this
get
lab?
better we can go through the mean from the scratch so that we can understand the
Okay,
connectivity other stuff.
okay, good. So let me just click new. Let me click the it's like we can say day one. Just add. So we can click on node, right? And we can F5 LTM, and we are using like the version 12. Okay. So we are like adding only single node. So it's showing like number of nodes, how many number of nodes you need to add. So we are adding right now one only. And this is the virtual addition. This is the image, 4 GB RAM, 2 CPU. So all things like enough. So and we need like the PC as well, right? So we can like keep two PC. So here your PC, right? We can use one switch. So for example, you have the switch here, and these devices are connected like that, right? And this may be your topology. After that, we can use one more switch. And we can add like two backend server. So instead of backend server, I'm just adding the router where we will run the services. So let me add 3 routers. So these will be called your servers. So back and okay. So you see backend server. One, two, right? So in the company, we have like this type of topology, right? But in this, we may have the firewall, we may be the router, right? Or maybe other devices. But looks like the for well, the understanding purpose, we can consider this topology, right? So this is your users. Okay, users are connected to the switch. So in after switch, we have the F5 and we have the again switch, right? On this switches we have the backend server, right? So we deploy this type of topology. So what we need to understand that in once you deploy the F5, right? So we have the modes, which we can say deployment modes, right? So we have the one arm, right? The other is two arm, right? So can anyone just tell me which type of topology this one have, this is the one arm or two arm?
So,
Two arm. Okay. So why we are saying that it's a two arm?
there are two interfaces connected. One is on and one is for
Okay.
like the server side for it.
Okay. So let me do one thing. Uh, now what is that?
Actually,
Now
because there are
now we are
three
using
interfaces.
three interfaces,
Three interfaces, right?
right? So it's a one arm, two arm. Which one?
So that is 0/2. It's a management IP address. So it's going to be a management one.
Okay, this one is the management. Okay.
So it would be the two column only.
Anyone have anyone other one can participate?
It's two arms, sir.
Okay. So it's a two arm, right? All are agree that it's a two arm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good. So let me change the topology now. Let me delete everything. Okay. And what I can do. Okay. So what is this?
But
But we are using two interfaces.
that is management interface. Management interface does not carry the data traffic.
Right. So like what happened, people are confusing. So whenever they are see that okay, two interface, so they are saying no, this is the two arm interface. Okay. So right now, because I added in the different way, but if you see some people are using maybe this management, that maybe we have the one switch here, right? Okay. Maybe these servers are connected to this one, right? And from this, they configure the management, right? Maybe we have the management VLAN 2 on this one switch, right? Because we can configure the multiple VLAN on one switch. Is this possible?
Yeah, we can pass. It is
Right?
possible.
Right. So don't be confused, whenever you see, okay, you need to ask, okay, that means how this F5 is managing the management. Okay, so someone say, okay, this is the the interface for management, but the other interface we have also, but this is the two arms. So no, this would be the one arm only, because your management will not consider into one arm, two arm, right? Okay, so don't be confused that okay, whenever your F5 is connected, you need to think like that. Okay, this is the management, right? This is the now we have the single interface, right? But when we have the the topology like that, these are the client, right? These are connected to one switch, and after that we have the F5, right? And we have again connected to the switch, and here we have the server 1, server 2, and server 3. But this F5 is connected with one of the management. So it's a management port. It may be your internal VLAN, it may be your external VLAN, right? Or maybe your XYG VLAN, right?
अरविंद सर, सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू।
Mhm.
सर एक्चुअली अभी मेरा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ना सिट्रिक्स का एडीसी है, नेटस्केलर।
Right, right.
तो ये मतलब जो सिट्रिक्स नेटस्केलर में एसएलबी का कंसेप्ट है, ये एलटीएम उसी के पैरेलल में है,
देखो,
राइट?
okay, listen. So once you have the Citrix NetScaler, for example, right? So on the NetScaler, you have the NS IP,
यस।
right? You have subnet IP, right? You have virtual IP or maybe GSL IP, right? This type of IP.
यस,
So your NS IP is
मैनेजमेंट।
this is your the subnet IP, but in the F5 it's called your self IP or floating IP. Virtual will be same. GSLB
यस।
is your DNS. So it's like Citrix versus F5.
Okay. Means the methodology will be same, just
Yeah, same only.
naming will be different.
But if you if you are working on the NetScaler part, right? In the NetScaler, we have the server, right? And here instead of servers we have the pool, and on the server we have the node.
Okay.
But the other things we have the same, we can use the X forward, right? We can use the same persistence, we can create the profile. But here we have in the F5 we have the policy, and on the NetScaler we have content switching.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So if you are working on the NetScaler, it's very easy to understand the F5 as well.
Sure.
Right?
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
So these are the deployment. So we need to understand first of all how we can configure the device. So let's configure the device first of all. Right? Okay, so before this, we can go here. So we will, so I mention that we will do the management configuration via the CLI GUI, right, on the virtual boxes, right? But on physical, what we need to do, we need to use the LCD, but LCD, LCD and the LCD button. But we can't do, but we can see that how F5 looks like. Okay, so the default IP address is the F5. What is that? 192.168.1.245, right? So why 245 is there? Anyone? I think Anurag, Preetham,
Yes, sir. Hexadecimal of F5 is equal to 245.
right? So if you check the F5 value, so it will be like your 245. So let me show you. See, so what F5 did, they added their name at the last digit, right? So if you see that let me show you something crazy. I don't know you guys aware or not, but I want to show you something. Uh, okay, so let me. Okay. You see what I did? NS lookup, right? I did the NS lookup of the Facebook, right? So if you see they have the IP version 6, what they configure in between. So this is the creativity that companies are using. Okay. So you see Facebook, they this is the IP version 6, IPv6. So they created the IP like that.
Yeah, it's look like a Facebook.
Yeah,
BWC
yeah,
FACE.
book. Other company also means using this type of the crazy things. Okay. So that's the reason F5 also use a 245. F5 is very smart, Okay, let's come to the picture again. Okay. So so the default username and password is the root, is your the default user, and your default password is the default. But for what? Where you will use the root? On the CLI only. Whenever you need to use the GUI, what you can use? What is the username for GUI?
Admin.
Admin, right? So for CLI, we have the root username. For GUI, we have the admin. So I think I forgot the name. Whosoever is working on the net scaler. So on the net scaler, we have the NS root, right?
Yes, sir, for the GUI one.
Yeah. For GUI and CLI both. This is
Both.
kind of your administrator account.
Yes.
So
The default password for GUI.
for the F5,
Correct.
it's the same password.
Admin.
Yeah. No. Admin, if you go to the old devices like version 12, okay, so you can use admin on both places. But the latest devices they have the admin and default, but your DEG is small, right? So for the management access, like we need the console, right? Whenever we are configuring any device, so how we are configuring, like it may be your Cisco switch, right? Maybe your WLC, right? Maybe your access point, maybe your router, maybe your firewall. How we are starting? We are starting with the console only, right? First of all, we are taking the console, then we are setting the management IP and all, and then we are deploying this box to the production, right? So if we have the virtual appliance, then you can take the console, okay, and it may be different way. If you configure the F5 on your VMware environment, right? You can take the console of the VMware. Means you can log into you need to log into the VMware, and once you click on the your machine, for example, you created the F5 with the name GuiNet, right? So first you need to log in into the VMware center. Then you need to find this machine. You need to click on the console button, okay, and you can take the console. Once you will take the console, the CLI prompt will become. Here you need to put your default username and your password, right? Once you will put your default username and password, it will again ask your current password and then new password. Okay. So you need to change the, it means it's asking to change your password. So you need to change the password, right? If we have the the physical box, then we need to connect the laptop with the console cable, right? Or if you have the F5 in front of you, okay, and someone want to configure with the LCD panel. So on the screen, you will see the current F5 IP, the default IP. You can change here we have the button. So you can change the IP address with these buttons. You need to follow the instruction. Okay. So so this is the similar thing, if we have the physical box, we can connect the laptop with the management port, right? We need to provide the same IPs, okay, same series of the IP address to laptop. Then we can browse the the F5 IP 192.168.1.245 and can put the username and password for further configuration. This is for your GUI. But if you have the CLI, you no need to configure the IP on the laptop and all. If we have the virtual also, we need to check what's IP have. But in this case, F5 machine should be in the same subnet, right? So this is the management part. So this is we have the physical box, right? So this is your 4000 series box.
Could you
So
please
you
come
see,
again, come again to that virtual and physical management
let
access?
me go back. This one.
The last 2 point I missed actually.
Okay. So for example, you have the physical box, right?
Okay,
And this is with the come with the default IP 192.168.1.245, right?
correct.
So we can connect our laptop, okay, with the management port, and we can provide the to IP to the laptop 192.168 1 dot maybe 100, means same series, right?
Correct.
It's a /24 network, so we can also provide the /24, right? Then we can open the the browser. It may be the Chrome or whatever browser you can open, and you will type HTTPS 192.168.1.245. So you will able to access your F5 with the GUI. Then you need to put username and password. Then you can change your IP. For that you need to go to the the setting platform, and here you will see the management IP.
Okay.
right? But if you have the virtual box, like, so in the virtual box, you can take the console, right? If you don't want to take the console, you can check the IP. And if you have the same, like, on the VMware, we have the same machine, like, in the same subnet, right? So for example, this F5 is connected to the VLAN 100, right? And the IP, like, took the IP 192.168.1.245, right? And we have the, like, this is the again VLAN 100. We have here machine, maybe like, Windows machine. Okay. And if, like, we provide the same IP, same series IP to the machine, right? So we can, like, access this IP easily. Or
Yeah.
other way, like, directly we can take the console and we can, like, change the IP. We will see, like, we will do the practical after this,
Okay.
like, content. Don't worry.
Okay.
We will not miss anything. Okay. So don't worry for this. So this is, like, your physical box. So here we have, like, the 4000 series, right? So you see, this is your LCD, right? These are your button, right? This is your OK button. This is left, right. Okay. Like, no. So this is the front, okay, front panel. So you see, okay. Also, like, if you see the interface, it looks like, 1.1, 1.2, it's a 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. So why we have, like, the, like, this 1.1.2? Anyone? Even though I have
Sure,
given the
Rajat.
hints as well.
It may be module 1.
Yeah. Okay. So this is, like, 1.1. So always you will see the F5 in, like, 1.1, 1.2. Like in our Cisco switches, we have, like, maybe GIG 0Y1, right? Maybe GIG 0Y0Y1, right? But in the F5, we have, like, 1.1, 2.1, right? And you see, we have the failover port. So dedicated failover, like, for the HA. And this is your management port. This is your console port, right? And here, like, we have the two supply. So why we are, like, using the means now company, like, using the two power supply for the
Redundancy.
redundancy, right? So for example, like, one power unit is, like, failed, one supply is failed, so other supply, like, can carry your power out. So okay, for example, this is the F5, right? And okay, so in your data center, it's a UPS, right? Everyone know, like, what is the UPS?
Yeah.
Yes, no? Okay,
Yeah.
good. And we need to configure this box. Let me, oh, sorry. So my F5 is connected to, like, this one, this one. So this is the UPS one, and this is the UPS two. So how we can, like, use, for the redundancy means how we can use the input, like, power input. This is the correct way, or
We can connect another UPS 1.
this is the correct way,
Blue
Yeah.
one.
right? So this is the deployment phase, like, whenever you deploy the devices in the data center, okay, and it's, like, the very new data center, right? So you need to ask, like, if you have the maintenance team, right? Those are managing power and all. So they will definitely ask, okay, just tell us like, means like, how many UPS you needed. Okay. So maybe you have like, the 100 devices, right? Or whatever devices, maybe like, we can say 10 devices, right? So you will ask always that, okay, we need like, two UPS, right? So one will be your like, your kind of main, or we can say active, and other will be your standby. Okay. Both will like, supply the power, but in case like, this UPS failed, so my device will not down, right? So these are the things like, you need to be very careful, like, during the deployment, right? And for example, so this is the F5 one and this is the F5 two. So how we can configure the HA for this is the good topology, or this is the good topology. Or where we need to use this. Okay. Both are the good topology, don't worry. Okay. But where we will use this one and where we will use this one.
The second one is, I mean, if it is two different tracks and it's lengthy, so we cannot
Yeah.
connect
So
it.
for example, like, I don't know, like, you guys heard about or maybe or not. So maybe like, this is the room one, right? So here we have like, our F5 one. All right. This is the room two, or you can also consider like, floor one, floor two. So if you have like, the long distance, like, in between, so what you need to do? You need the switch, right? So, or for example, like, here we have also connected the switch, right? We have one switch on this rack and we have also one switch in this rack. And these switches are like, connected with each another. So what we can do? This F5, like, we can connect with this switch, right? And this F5 we can connect with this switch, right? Any doubt? Or maybe, okay, if you like, means have doubt like, on the room, so just like, consider rack one, rack two. So we can use like, both win, right? For this failover, like, directly we can use like, the F5 one and F5 two. Or if we have like, the switch or something, so we can use like, an interface from this. Management, we will only use for management access.
Actually, I didn't understand. When suppose we using the switch between the switch, so which port you can use?
You can use anyone from them.
And failover port when you can use the
Failover mostly like, we are using when we have the device directly like, connected.
okay.
This is dedicated failover port,
Okay,
no?
okay, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is direct means dedicated failover, or we can say HA. Like in I think if you guys are working on the Palo Alto, so we have like, dedicated failover port, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Okay. So to like, configure the IP like, with the LCD panel, so it's saying like,
So the
display,
failover port and the HA port both are same, right?
right. Okay. So for like, if we have the physical box and we need to like, change the IP with the LCD panel. So your IP will be like, will be display on the LCD, right? And to activate menu, so you see like, we have the buttons like, that, and here like, so press X button. Okay, this is your menu button, right? And use the up arrow key to system check. So these are the like, up, down, left, right key, right? And in this key, like, you can change your IP, mask, and gateway. Right? So this is like, you required whenever like, your device is hosted like, some in data center, and you are so far like, you are sitting on the remote side, or maybe this is your remote side. So you need some like, someone like, at site support, so that like, you can guide him like that. Okay, just press like, X button, and you can use left and right arrow key, and you can change the IP address, right? So you need to guide them like, remotely, then you can take the second option, like, you can ask, okay, what is the management IP, like, you are able to see on the screen, just like, give the same series IP to the laptop, and just connect your laptop with the management port, right? Then you can take the access. So this is like, something R series. So here like, also that LCD panel. Come on, where is my pen? Okay, I series. Okay, you need to use the same LCD, right? Setup menu, management, IP address, back button, like, tab on the back when finished. So this is like, also like, the button we have. So you need to follow the instruction, and you can configure. This is I just keep like, for just your reference, so that like, if you have any box at remote side, you can like, that think, okay, that okay, we have the LCD panel, and we have the button on this, so we can like, use the buttons to change the IP or management or gateway, whatever. So these are the some commands like, that you will like, you need to use like, whenever you need to check the things. So if you are in the bash mode, right, we will discuss like, what is the bash mode, what is the TMOS mode, everything. So to view the device management IP, okay, if you are in the bash mode, right, so you will type like, TMS list sys management IP, and you will see your management IP. If you want to see the like, route, so you need to type TMS list sys management route, right? But you already, if you already in the TMS mode, right, then you no need to type like, TMS. You need to just type list sys management IP. You will see your IP. And instead of IP, you will type route. You will see your route. So for example, this is like, that we discussed like, your virtual F5, and you take the console, and you need to know like, what is the IP. So you need to go to the console. You need to type the, if you are in the bash mode, you need to type this command. Or if you are in the TMOS mode, you need to type this command, right? So we will like, we will do like, how we can create. So we can use the create command to create the management IP, right? Delete to delete, modify, we will all use. After that, like, what we will do the licensing part, right? So like, this is my personal request, or like, this is mandatory, okay, that you guys need to like, register yourself on the F5 portal and registered for trial license. Okay, so once you have key like, the license, and also that like, you can perform the lab, right? Because at the end, like, we are human, we forgot the things like, whatever we learn, but we never forgot the things like, whenever we do the practical. Means we can forget, but not, it's not easy. So like example, like, if you're watching a movie, you will remember it, right? But if you are reading this movie history, like, on the book, you may forget, right? So that's the reason, like, I suggest, like, do more labs so that you can, like, learn the things more. And whenever, like, you're stuck, like, so if you will do the labs, like, you should have, like, means hands-on experience. And maybe, like, once you will do the lab, maybe you will stuck, right? You will ask lots of question will become. So, like, we need to figure out, like, where we have the issue, right? So you need to, like, for activate the license, you need to, so we need to license the activate, like, license key means this is the appliance means F5, right? We can activate online and offline, right? We need to copy a dossier from the device. We will discuss, like, what is a dossier. For online activation, we can use this portal, right? And directly, like, this copy this dossier to the activate.f5 site, and, like, we will see one key, one input, sorry, the value, and we need to put this value into the again device, and we can register our license on the device. And if you have, like, if you don't have the internet access on your device, or, like, in this environment, you can, like, take this dossier out, and wherever you have the internet access, you can just, like, open this site, and you can upload this dossier to the this activate.f5.com, and you will receive, like, one file, and you need to upload again this file to your appliance means device. Maybe you not understand this point, but they will do the lab, so you can, like, easily understand. After that, like, we will do the provisioning and all. So till that time, like, I'm just, like, stopping here, everyone. So anyone, like, have any question till now?
Yes, so far nothing.
Okay. Other one, Preetam, Harshal, Dilip. Okay, someone like.
No, sir, all clear.
Sir, I have one question. The F5 is a server load balancer, right?
Server load balance means definitely, like, it's not a load balancer, like, you can means you can. So let me draw one topology,
Uh,
right? So maybe you have, like, the 3 backend server, and your application is hosted here, right? You have one critical application, right, which is hosted here, right? Maybe flipkart.com, right? So if you have, like, the single server, so one, and this server have, like, capacity of 10,000 connection. But if you are receiving, like, 20,000 server, what you need to do?
I will add the one more server in.
Right. So what you need, like, something load balancing device, or what you need to do, you need to configure the DNS, right? But in the DNS, like, means there is, like, lots of security issue and others, like, but once you will use the F5, like, you can secure, means you can, like, create the two boundaries. So it may be your front end, it's kind of proxy, right? So here to here, like, one connection, and from again, like, F5 to backend the other connection.
Yes, sir.
पण ना कामं करता करता बाकीचे कामं करता करता केले.
Okay, so anyone have other question? Dilip, Pritam, Harshal. Okay.
No
If no
question.
question, like,
Mm.
yeah,
Yes.
no question.
Yeah, no question.
Okay. So, so whatever, like, we learned till here, you guys understand now? Because my motto is not like, that we need to, like, go, like, do the hurry, like, whatever we are learning, we need to understand, right? So you have the rights, like, you can ask the question. Okay. So once, like, we will do the license. So after that, what we need to do, we need to do the provisioning, right? In the provisioning, like, what we will do, we will, like, give the device host name, we will configure the time zone, right? We can reset the root or admin password. We can specify to the device that, okay, who, like, which network or whosoever, like, that access these devices management, right? This we can do. And then, like, we can configure the, so these are the some, like, the feature first of all, like, F5 is the intelligent load balancer, like, application protocol support, HTTP, SSL, TLS, application health monitor, right? It can be monitor also your application health, right? Application connection state management, F5 one connect. Okay. And also, like, we have the routing on this one, BGP, RIP, OSPF if you are using, so you can use the routing as well, right? So let's, like, come to the lab, I think. So little bit, like, we will do the lab. Let me open the lab here. So you guys need break, or we can, like, continue. If you guys need, like, 5 minutes break, we can, like, take break. Otherwise, like, we can continue.
Yes, sir. We can take only 5 minute break so that
Okay.
kindly set the alarm for 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, so all are back.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for example, like means we are just configuring the F5. Okay, so I just click on the console and let me now it's like it's loading. Okay. Okay, so now it's asking like the login, right? So we are using root and it's asking now password. So I put like DEFAULT default. Right? So I'm able to access this one. Okay. So this like this is the 12 version, so it's not asking the password to change the password right now. But if you are using the 16 version something, it will definitely like ask to change the password, right? So what we can do, what we need to do first of all, can anyone tell me if we need to see the IP, like what we can do?
TMSH list.
Okay, let me
TMS bash
TMSH
list
hmm,
slash
hmm,
system management IP.
so what is the IP address we got?
45.
So we like discuss that. Okay, what is the default IP? So it's like 192.168.1.245 is your IP. Okay, so what command we run? So tmsh list sys management IP, right? And for example, so this is like I run on the bash mode, right? If I need to go the tmos, what command I need to use
We
here?
should remove only TMSH. Only we use
No,
list.
no, I need to move. I need to move into the tmos first. So I need to type tmsh. Now I'm in the tmos mode. You see, right? So if like I type list this management IP, right? It's showing your IP. If I type list this management route, so there is no route right now. So that's the reason you are not able to see the route, right? Let me go to the again bash mode. Okay. So for example, this is your virtual box, right? So if you need to configure the IP here, so you can use the other utility as well. So you can type CONFIG config
Hey, I'm
and
sorry.
you can hit enter.
Sorry to interrupt. I mean, I just came. Okay, could you please come back?
Uh, you you are on break still?
No, I just came back from
Okay.
break.
Okay, okay. So let me. Okay, no problem. I can show you. Okay, again. So let what we discuss, like we can see the IP. Okay, if we need to check the IP, so what we can do, TMSH, right? List says management, then IP. So you see, we have the default IP now.
Yeah, how to enter this? I mean, say like, how you
Okay.
enter?
Okay, let me do again. So this is our topology, which we built.
Yeah.
And this is your F5.
Yeah.
Right? We just click on this F5 and we received this terminal,
Mhm.
means console.
Okay.
Or you want to start from scratch, I can do again, no problem. Let me stop. Okay, and again I'm starting. Okay, so it's like again from scratch. So right now your F5 is booting.
How to load these operating system? I mean, this one, FA, this,
So this is the like GuiNet platform. So it's like built on the PNet lab. Okay, so you will receive like your username and password to access this lab from here. But
okay.
if you want to like deploy your in-house lab, you can do as well.
That's fine, but I mean, GuiNet, I mean, how can I upload these, the,
No. So this is the GuiNet responsibility. Like they will upload the images to this one.
okay.
You can only access the devices. You can access your lab only.
Okay, we are not going to use that license key which we are deriving
No.
from.
You need to put license key and all. No. So you, for example, you like you received the your username password of like rex.guinet.com, right?
Okay,
You will receive the credential. Once you enter your credential, you can create the topology, or you can use whatever the topology I have built, right?
okay,
But this is like this will be your fresh. So once you will power on, like there will be no configuration, no license, everything like you will receive from scratch. So you need to like just power on this device. So once you will power on, so like it will become like that, right?
okay,
And after that, like you need to like configure the management IP. You need to configure the device host name. You need to do the license part, right? You need to configure everything.
okay.
You will receive only platform, but you need to like create the things here with yourself only. Understood?
Yeah, understood, but I mean, so for each one of us, which who are all part of these classes, so so we have to apply the license for the one which we are deriving from the FI, or it's also mean configured by unit.
No. So you will register yourself on the F5 portal, right? You will
Correct.
receive the key, right?
Correct.
Once you have the key, you need to log into the lab. You need to power on your devices. You need to click on the F5. You need to configure your management IP and all. After that, you need to register your device with your license key.
Okay.
Then you need to create your server, backend pool member and all. Then you need to follow the traffic and all.
Okay. Got it.
Right. So
Everyone
this
has
is like
everyone
kind of
has
like
a separate
yeah,
lab. Everyone has a
right,
separate lab.
right,
So there is
right,
no need to chance to clash to everyone lab, I
right.
suppose.
This is like kind of that you have like the cloud platform, and you need to do everything like with your this.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, Pritham, you want to say something?
No, I'm just saying that everyone has a separate lab.
Right.
So there is no need to be chance to clash.
Yeah, right. right? So right now it's showing your device name, like showing that localhost. You have the login prompt, right?
Yep.
So I type root, right? I type default as a password and I hit enter. Now you are in the config mode, right? But your device is still like booting. It's showing like in operative. So let's wait for like 1 minute or 2 minutes. So it's like it will be load completely. It's showing like license is not operational, expired, or digital signature does not match, right? It's checking the license. So here like what we can do, if we need to like change the IP, what we can do, we can type the config, right? So this is like something initial configuration, right? So you will see like this utility, configuration utility. And if you see what it's saying, F5 management port setup, right? This is your configuration utility. Use this utility to add the IP address, net mask, and default route for the management port on this system, right? You must add the IP address and net mask for the management port before you can use the web-based setup utility, right? If we don't have the IP, net mask, means management things, we can use the web-based setup utility or means GUI. No, right? Yes, no, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I hit enter. Now what it's saying, use automatic configuration of the IP address. Current IP address this, current net mask is this. You want to continue with this automatic IP address or no? So I will say
We should know as per
right,
our premises. No?
right, right. So I hit on no. So what is the IP address it's saying? Current IP address, this one, right?
1.245.
Right. So what we can use, we can use anything, right? So let me check. They have I need to check one thing. We can use any IP, but I want to use like something different. I am not able to type. Okay, leave it. We will do later. So here I'm using like the IP address like 10.26. 1.100, right? And I hit enter. And subnet mask, I'm using this one, /24. Now it's asking like, do you want to create a default route for management port? This is required if you want to connect to the management port from another subnet, right? Yes. So I am using like, management route AJ254 and I hit enter. Okay. So now I want to see like, what is the IP address we have, right? So what I can do,
TMS list. Management IP.
so what is the IP address we have now? 10.26.1.100, right?
Yes.
And what I want to check other things. So I want to check route as well. So what is the route we have?
254.
Right? So what I need to do? So if I need to like save the configuration, so we have two options: tmsh save sysconfig, right? The other option, we can go to the tmos. Here directly we can type save sysconfig. So once you will hit enter, see saving running configuration to which files?
Big IP
Okay.
configuration.
So this is like the big IP base config, big IP config. So here like your configuration changing.
Sir, there is a three files. There is big IP configuration, base configuration, user. So what is the difference between all of these three files?
We will run, means we will learn these things. Okay. Once we will
Sure.
discuss about the directory and all. So don't
Definitely.
worry. Yeah. And now what we can do,
The command is saving it. It's a command. So that is save system configuration.
yeah.
In
So
which
let
IP?
me write the command. Okay. So to check the IP, okay, if you are in the base mode, right, or config mode, you need to type tmsh list sys management IP, right? If you are in the tmos mode, you can type list sys management IP, right? And you need to once you are in the bash mode, if you need to configure the IP, so you need to type command config. Once you enter the after config, once you enter, the one pop-up box will become, okay, and you need to follow the instruction and you can change the IP address and all, right? The third things, once you will change your IP address and all, right? You need to do what you need to do. You need to save the configuration, right? So if you are in the bash mode and the config mode, you can do tmsh save sys config. It's I C O N F I G. Okay, config. But if you are in the TMOS, you can use only save sys config. So if you want these
How
commands,
to
you can
how to
take these
switch
commands.
from the BAS mode to DM switch mode? And is it possible to configure that IP from the DMS switch mode? So because
Yes.
we were seeing that BAS mode only the configurations like
Yeah. So listen, the initial configuration you always do with the base mode. Okay. But if you want to now we have that okay. For example, I am in the TMOS mode, right? And you want to modify the IP, right?
correct.
So what I can do, modify sys management IP. So you are here. Now what you want to do, or the second thing, okay, let me show you something as well. If this is confusing somewhere. So you are in the TMS mode, right? I am doing delete sys management IP and delete sys management IP. So if now you will do list sys management IP. You have any IP?
No.
No, right? So some cases what happened sometimes you will face an issue your device is in the production, okay, and you have some issue on the management part and all. So maybe you need to delete this IP and you need to reconfigure the things. So this is the way you delete. Now what you can do, create sys management IP, and this time 10.30.1.100/24, right? So what I used, this command, right? Creates this management IP, and I have given the IP and the subnet. Okay. So
Okay.
sorry, say again.
Okay.
Okay. So if now I want to see the list, this management IP, they have the IP, right? But instead of IP, if I want to check the route, so this is the different network and this is the different network, right? Do this one. Let me reconnect. Okay. So now I want to change the gateway, right? So first of all, what I need to do, can I do modify sys management route default gateway, then 10.30.1.254. Right, and now I am doing this one. So what route we have?
It got changed.
Okay, so this is right now we have this 10.1. So what we use? We use also create, right? We also use modify command, and we also use delete command. So now you understand, like, what we can do with the create, what we can do with the modify, what we can do with the delete.
Yes, sir.
Okay, don't worry, like, this is like, our first day one class. So maybe like, that people not able to understand, but don't worry, like, we will do like, 2, 3 times. So definitely like, you will remember. And once you will do like, with means with yourself, definitely like, you will never forget. But till the time, like, whatever we discuss, you understood or not?
Yeah, understood.
Okay. So today, like, we are covering till here, but from tomorrow onward, like, we will like, go with like, the complete configuration. We will set up the lab, right? We will create backend pool. Okay. We will create node, pool members, then virtual. We will also activate the device, right? So the complete topology we will configure. So till now, like, whatever we learned today on this, like, you have any questions or suggestion, everything.
So whatever we learned today, it's really excellent. But I have a query for the very next classes about
Mhm.
the policies. So I just want to know the policies are part of the LTM or ASM.
No. So right, yeah, this is a good question. So if you remember, like, we have the iRule option in
Yes,
the
exactly.
F5, right?
Mhm.
So iRole is like, we can say like, it's a CLI, and the policy is kind of GUI. So whatever, like, we have the lots of options, like, in the policy that we
Mhm.
can create the policy. And like, as we discussed, like, in the initial phase, that in the F5 we have the policy, and in the NetScaler we have like, content switching and all.
Okay. So digital policy is a part of the LTM, no?
Right.
Okay.
LTM as well, ASM as well.
Okay. Because in my running premises, we are using the policy, so I was stuck somewhere. So I just want, so just I'm,
No
uh,
worry.
thank
Don't
you,
worry.
thank
Like,
you.
whenever you have the question and all, like, we will discuss. Don't worry.
Definitely.
So Usman, Soli, Anurag, and
Yeah, I would suggest, I mean, tomorrow we, I mean, so I have registered my ID and I have activated. So
uh,
tomorrow before we start the class, so these setups, the lab setups, if we go through, then it would be great because
right. So, Miss, you guys like, keep your keys and everything handy, right? And also like, talk to the counselor that they can like, give the lab access and all. So that would be fine. I'm just stop recording.
yeah. So if you are getting struggle in between, so that lab coordinator will support us.
Right.
Okay.
I will take care only like, the technical part, rest part, like, they will take care. And I will also like, give you one lab guide. Don't worry. This time, like, we have created one lab guide and all. So tomorrow I will show you, like, so if you stuck somewhere, like, you can follow with the lab guide.
Okay. Fine then.
Okay. So thanks for like, for today, and we will like, connect same time.
So
for the
in the
class, right?
class would be the 10 to 12 or 10 to 11:30?
Yeah, 10 to 12.
Okay, got it. Great.
But today or tomorrow, like, it's a 10 to 11:30 only.
11:30.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Bye. Take care.